Hi everyone, this is Teacher Rafael, and today I will be presenting to you the step-by-step guide, tips, and requirements for your Schengen tourist visa application. Last April 2025, my sister and I traveled to UK, France, and Italy, and we applied for UK and Schengen visas. In February 2025, we had our biometrics appointment, and luckily our UK visa application was approved. We then applied for Schengen visa in the first week of March 2025. It was a nerve-wracking experience waiting for the results, especially with our flight scheduled in the first week of April of the same year. But with God's grace, our Schengen visa application was approved and our passports were released in the last week of March 2025. So for today's video, we will be focusing on the Schengen tourist visa application. Schengen visa is an authorization for non-EU citizens to stay briefly in the Schengen country for up to 90 days within any 180-day time frame. Schengen visas are available in three types. The single entry visa permits one-time entry into the Schengen zone. The multiple entry visa, which allows multiple visits to the Schengen area while the visa remains valid. And airport transit visa, which grants access to the international transit zone of the Schengen airport during a layover or flight change, but does not permit exiting the transit area. And the processing time for the Schengen visa application is 15 to 30 days. There are things that we have to remember when applying for Schengen visa. The earliest time of application is 180 days or 6 months before your planned entry into the Schengen area. The latest time of application is 15 calendar days prior to the departure. Some embassies might require a few extra days, often counted in business days. And the optimal timing for application is 3 to 4 weeks before departure to allow for normal processing time, which usually takes 15 days. But it can be up to 30 or more days during busy periods like summer or holidays. Also, make sure that your passport is valid for at least 3 months beyond your planned exit and has at least 2 blank pages. So what are the steps in Schengen visa application? Step 1 is to download and complete the Schengen visa application form specific to the country you are applying through. So for example, if you're applying through Italian embassy, then you have this link. The choice of embassy for Schengen visa application depends on your main destination. That is, the country where you will be spending the longest period of time. If there is no main destination, then you should apply at the embassy of the country of first entry. That is, the country where you be entering first. Make sure that there are no sections left blank. If a question doesn't apply to you, write NA instead. These are the information needed in the Schengen visa application form. You have your personal information, which includes your full name, the exact complete name, which is also seen in your passport, the date and place of your birth, your nationality, gender, and marital status. Also included are your passport details, passport number, date of issue and expiry, and issuing country or authority. Also asked are your contact information, like your home address, email address, and phone number. Also asked are your occupation and employer. You have to state your current job title and your employer's name, address, and contact details. Travel details are also asked in the application form. For example, what is your purpose with your travel? Is it tourism? Is it business? Will you be visiting your family or friends? So you have to state that in your visa application form. And this purpose must coincide with your cover letter. And Shenzhen country of your main destination, their entry and exit dates, the number of entries requested, like are you requesting for a single entry or multiple entries? Next is your previous Shenzhen visas if there are any. Also ask are your accommodation and host information. Will you be staying in a hotel? You have to state the name of the hotel and address. Will you be staying with the host? You also have to state the address of the host. The name and contact details of your host. Next are your financial means. Who will be covering your travel expenses? Will it be you? Or will somebody be sponsoring your travel? You also have to provide proof of your means, like your bank statements and sponsorship letters. Your entries for this financial means in your application letter must coincide with your cover letter and the documents that will support your claim. Next is your travel insurance. There should be confirmation of valid travel insurance covering the entire Shenzhen stay with a minimum coverage of 30,000 euros. And for the declarations, you have to sign and write the date when you sign this application form. And it will give consent to visa conditions and data processing. Step 2 is to write your cover or introductory letter to the embassy. So this is what it looks like. So this is an example of a cover letter. I'll be posting the link to my video on how to write a cover letter in the description area of this video. So the cover letter must be addressed to the embassy where you're applying to, and you must introduce yourself as an applicant. State the reason for your visa application. Is it tourism? Is it business? You have to specify. You also have to specify the duration of your trip and whether you're requesting for a single entry or multiple entry, and then your travel history. So which particular countries have you been through for the past years? You also have to introduce your family. They describe your family members, their employment status. Okay. And then you also have to state your employment status as well. And if you have received approval from your employer, you also have to cite, note, or state the estimated cost of your travel. And then the financial means, whether you'll be funding your own travel or will somebody be sponsoring you. So you have to state that in your cover letter. You also have to establish your financial stability if it's self-funded. And if sponsored, you have to explain your relationship to the sponsor, and you also have to state or cite the sources of income of the sponsor. Step 3 is to have your photo. So two recent passport or 2x2-inch colored standard photo, ICAO standard photo. So the decision whether it's passport size or 2x2 size photo will depend on the embassy you're applying to. For example, when we applied for Schengen visa through the Italian embassy, so what was required of us were 2x2-inch colored photos. So the photo must have a white background. The ears should be exposed. You should have a collared shirt or blouse. Your mouth should be closed. Your hair must not cover your collar. Your photo must be centered and must be facing forward. No headbands, sunglasses, or cups. And your photo must conform to the size of specifications. Step 4 is to complete your other requirements, such as your travel documents. You have to photocopy your old and current passports, and your current passport must be valid at least 6 months from the intended departure date. And you have to photocopy as well your biographical page of your valid passport, photocopy all your stamps and visas, and photocopy of your first and last page of passport should be submitted as well. Next is your proof of your financial means. So you're going to submit original copy of your bank certificates. Your bank certificates must be recent, usually issued within the last 30 days, and should include the account type, for example, savings. It must have a current balance, account opening date, and 6-month average daily balance or ADB. It must be addressed to the specific embassy or consulate where you're applying through. Next is your personal bank statements. It must be printed and stamped by the bank because online copies are often not accepted. It should show transactions for the last 6 to 12 months, and it must reflect regular income, consistent balance, or savings. There should be movement in your account. There should be constant deposits or withdrawals. Next is your credit card statements. If you have credit cards, this are helpful, but not necessarily required. So it should be it should cover the last 6 to 12 months, and it can show additional financial capacity. Next is latest income tax return or ITR. It should have a official receipt or proof of filing, and it should be for the most recent tax year. You also have to submit your payslips, original payslips from your current employer, and it should cover the last 3 to 6 months. Also, you have to provide proof of your other sources of income, if applicable. If you have a business, then you provide a copy of your business permit and your business financial statements, your rental income, if you are leasing, if you have lease contracts, and deposit slips, that can be also helpful. And you also provide remittances if you have received any, and dividends or investments, proof of your dividends and investments. The preferred amount of money to bring when traveling from the Philippines to Schengen countries depends on the following. It depends on the Schengen country you are visiting, because there are minimum daily requirements in different Schengen countries. The length of your stay, and whether you're self-funded or sponsored. And it also depends on your accommodation and itinerary. So for my case, my travel budget was at least 50% higher than the total estimated expenses. So for example, in my itinerary, as reflected in the itinerary and my cover letter, my total estimated expenses is 500,000. So I provided at least 750,000 to fully support my travel. So that is for me. You can also apply that, use that formula. And how much cash should you carry physically? The recommendation is you have to carry 300 to 500 euros in cash for immediate expenses, such as food or transport or emergencies. And the rest of your funds should be in your debit or credit card, your prepaid travel cards, and do not carry more than 10,000 euros or equivalent without declaring it at the customs. And if it's sponsored, then you bring a sponsorship letter, the proof of your sponsor's financial capacity or means, and you still have to bring 200 to 300 euros for your personal use. If sponsored, you have to submit a signed letter of invitation from your sponsor, the proof of your relationship, such as your own birth certificate, the birth certificate of the sponsor, and if you're siblings, the marriage certificate of your parents. You also have to provide the copy of sponsor passport bio page, the affidavit of support or guarantee signed by a lawyer, and then original bank certificates of the sponsor, which include the account type, current balance, account opening date, 6 months ADB or average daily balance. And these original bank certificates must be addressed to the specific embassy or consulate you're applying through. And Personal bank statements of sponsor, it should show regular income or balance covering the last 6 to 12 months. And the credit card statements of sponsor for the last 6 to 12 months. The copy of the latest income tax return of the sponsor, certificate of employment of the sponsor, original pay slips of the sponsor for the last 6 months, and the proof of other sources of income of the sponsor. For example, if you have an account in cooperative or in a pag-ibig, no, you have to have those copies because it can also support, your financial stability. If you are retired, and you can present the photocopy of your senior citizen ID, proof of your social security pension, such as your photocopy of your passbook reflecting the monthly pension. If you're a student, you have to provide your original school certificate and approved leave of absence if you're traveling during the school year. You also have to provide a photocopy of proof of your enrollment, copy of school calendar and photocopy of school ID, affidavit of support from parents, and also attached parents' documents, which was stated in the previous slides. You also have to provide proof of your ties in the country. This will ensure that you will come back to your country of origin. You can provide proof of your social security contributions, such as your SSS or GSIS. You can also provide proof of your investments or properties, such as the copy of real estate property, your land title or house title, your car certificate of registration with official receipt, your proof of family ties in the Philippines, such as the birth certificate of your children or your marriage certificate. And these certificates must be issued by the PSA or the Philippine Statistics Authority. And lastly, the copy of your work ID. You also have to provide proof of your occupation, such as your original certificate of employment if you're employed. It should state the position or designation, your date hired, salary, benefits, company letterhead with address, landline number and email address of the company, signature of authorized signatory, dates of authorized leave, and reason for leave. And you should have a certificate of leave of absences, like approved leave of absence or authority to travel. Then also provide your latest income tax return, your PRC ID, and copy of your work ID. You also have to provide proof of your accommodation, such as confirmation of hotel booking or your hotel voucher. If you're staying with a sponsor abroad, you should have the copy of a signed letter of invitation or letter of promise of accommodation by the host. Proof of relationship to the sponsor, such as your own birth certificate, the birth certificate of the sponsor, and if your siblings, the marriage certificate of the parents. Also provide the marriage certificate of the sponsor. And then copy of sponsor passport bio page, copy of house title or land title, copy of residence permit of the sponsor, and then the recent utility bill as proof of address of the sponsor. So next one is the proof of travel arrangements, such as your detailed day-to-day itinerary of your planned trip, just like what is shown here. So I also provide the link to the video discussing sample, how to construct a detailed itinerary. So in your itinerary, you have to provide a date. For each date, you have your destination, your activity, what will you be doing on that particular day, and if there are entrance fees or other expenses, transportation, the food expenses, and accommodation. And you may also provide another column for other notes, like what will you be doing, aside from visiting a particular tourist spot on that particular day. So that is an example of a day-to-day detailed itinerary. So in my case, I also placed a breakdown of my expenses so that the consulate can see that my budget is more than the total estimated expenses. Next is the copy of airline reservation or booking confirmation. This is very important because this, aside from being asked in the immigration, this will also serve as proof that you will be returning to your country of origin. Next is your travel insurance, which should cover the minimum of 30,000 euros with 15 days of allowance beyond travel period. And then it should be valid throughout the Shenzhen area, which includes emergency hospitalization, repatriation expenses, delayed flights, and others. And the insurer has to be from the list of accredited companies. So there's a list of companies that are accredited by the Shenzhen for Shenzhen application, visa application. Next is your original birth certificate certified by the PSA, and then your VFS Global Appointment Letter, which you'll be presenting when you go to the VFS Global, where you'll be applying for your Shenzhen visa. Next is your visa appearance and the biometric. You have to come on time, or you have to come 15 minutes before your scheduled appointment. So again, step 5 is attending your appointment at the Shenzhen Visa Center, which is the VFS Global. On the day of your scheduled appointment, go to the designated VFS Global Center in the Philippines to complete your biometric enrollment, which is your fingerprints. So you don't need to take your photo because you will be submitting your passport size or 2x2 photo. And be sure to arrive at least 15 minutes early to allow time for security screening. So in our case, when we went to the VFS Global in Taguig City, upon arrival, our schedule was 11:45 a.m. We were there already by 11:30, and we were able to enter the vicinity before 11:45, and we placed our bags in a locker room, and then we proceeded with the biometrics appointment. And bring the following with you during your appointment date: your appointment confirmation, the printed copy of your document checklist, and then all original supporting documents. Make sure you have a extra copy with you, because once you have submitted the documents to the embassy or the visa processing center, they will not be returning your documents anymore. So you have to keep your own copies. Next is Shenzhen visa processing times. The standard processing is 15 calendar days from the date of your biometric appointment. So we applied for Shenzhen visa March 4, 2025, and we got our passports March 26, 2025. So it can take up to 30 or even 60 days in exceptional cases. For example, if you have incomplete documents, or if there's high volume of applicants, then it can take longer than 15 days. Next, most Schengen countries do not offer official priority or super priority services for short stay, like type C visa applications. So make sure you uh, give extra time for the processing of your visa. Next, there isn't a set of interview requirement for a Schengen tourist visa. However, you might be interviewed if the visa officer considers it necessary during the application process. So after the biometric, you will receive an auto-generated email that your processed application with reference number is in transit from the embassy of the country you're applying through to the operations center. Next, after your visa has been processed, you will receive another auto-generated email telling you that your processed visa application with reference number has been received at the UK Visa Application Center on a specific or the said date and time. You will receive another email telling you that your passport is ready for collection at the Visa Application Center with specific schedule for collection. And if you, usually the specific time for collection is 2 to 4 p.m. And if you opted for courier delivery service, then you don't need to visit the visa center. You will receive an email that your process application reference number has been dispatched via courier on the said day. So again, when you collect your passport, you have to present your receipt and the evidence of your identity, such as your valid ID. Again, the regular collection is at 2 to 4 p.m. So for third-party collection, in addition to the above requirements, there should be a letter of authority or authorization signed by the applicant. And if passport is received through a courier return service, you should sign an airway bill or a courier company delivery sheet as an acknowledgement of the receipt of your passport. So ensure that your budget aligns with your itinerary, considering the activities and the length of your stay. You have to justify well through your documents and cover letter that you intend to return to your country, to your home country after your scheduled trip. And you have to make sure that you do not exceed the number of days granted in your visa. So if you are given 15 days for your Schengen visa application, then you should not exceed 15 days in the Schengen area. And if you want to ensure that your requirements are complete and be given professional advice or ensure proper arrangement of your documents, you may also seek the assistance of a travel agency, just like what we did. So we sought the assistance of Adventure International Tours. So they guided us throughout the application process. And make sure also that all your documents are in A4 size bond paper. Okay, so that ends our discussion of the steps in your visa application process, the tips and the requirements that you need to comply when you're applying for Schengen through this visa application. So thank you for watching and hope this video helps. Good luck in your Schengen visa application and see you in my next videos.